What's up, everybody? Welcome to Rox Talk, where we provide all Rockies news, rumors, trades, and opinions to the best fan base on earth. Every Thursday, we will be talking everything Rockies, offering fan engagement, and interviewing some of your favorite players as well. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. So basically, guys, we're going to start talking about a recap of the Rockies season and basically what's going on so far because it's been a long 2 months for sure. Definitely a bunch of up and downs. But for the most part, at least where we're at right now, definitely something to be proud of. So, starting off in April, it was definitely rough. We started off kicking off a 4-game series of the season against the Marlins, won the first 2, and, it seemed like ever since then it kind of went downhill. And I think our worst part of the season, we were 3-12. It was around April 14th, and something ticked, and we went on a winning streak. And ever since then, we're sitting at 3 games over 500 now. So, I think that, there's definitely some key components to, where we're at now. We're not leading the division, but at the same time, from going 3-12 to where we are now is just, there's a lot of things that went into play. So one of them was definitely our offense. I'm assuming whoever's listening to this right now, last year our offense was terrible. It started off really good, moved into August, as good as well. But, as soon as we got to this, the late months, September, October, things seemed to fizzle. The top of our lineup was not performing. And then when they did perform, our bottom of the lineup was not performing. So nothing really seemed to line up when it came to that. So, that being said, this year it seems like everything's kind of falling into place, especially with the offseason pickup of Daniel Murphy. He seemed that right off the bat, we knew he was coming in injury prone. He's very consistent, one of the most consistent hitters in the league. But the one thing that, he does struggle with is injuries. So sprained his finger, 3rd game into the season. So that was not a good sign, but came back a lot faster than expected. And really, as of right now, he just had a killer series against the Cubs. So, definitely looking for him to do some awesome stuff. But ever since then, we just, went on an 8-game winning streak as well. So definitely a lot of things to be proud of for sure. So especially one thing that I wanted to touch up on was the pitching. So, our starting pitching this year has been up and down for the most part, but especially I definitely wanted to focus on one guy, and that's Kyle Freeland. 2018, Cy Young candidate, he was pitching unbelievably. Posted a 2.85 ERA. He pitched 33 games, allowed 182 hits on 202 innings as well. So definitely a good season for him. He was definitely viewed as our ace, right? He was our ace, but for some reason, this year he just completely fell apart. I don't know, the reason obviously is unknown. His spin rate is, relatively the same as well. So it's not really command. It's more of just whether it's, teams have really figured him out or teams have actually studied him a bit more now that he's in the spotlight. But it's a bit of a surprise now because we also got guys like German Marquez who was kind of iffy whether we view him as our ace or not because Freeland really did have the spotlight last year. But now it's pretty clear that German is definitely going to be the guy for us as we move into the year, going into the All-Star break. Right now Kyle Freeland has a 7.13 ERA, which is nowhere near to his standards. He's allowed 68 hits already, almost more than a third of what he allowed last season, and it's only been 2 months of the season, so not looking good for him at all. But we're definitely looking for guys in our starting rotation to step up. Especially towards the trade deadline. That's going to be something that we need to focus on. The offense is definitely not the worry. It's really going to be the defense, especially when we got guys like Scott Oberg and Wade Davis. Wade Davis actually just got injured, but we got a couple guys who are really locking it down for us. But we do have some guys like Sungwon Oh, and Brian Shaw's been good for us this year. But there are some guys that are just do not seem to be looking like their 2018 selves, like Kyle Freeland, Sungwon Oh. Carlos Estevez really never recovered from 2017, so Chris Rustin being one of them as well, just made his first start of the season and did not do well. So the pitching is definitely one thing that we do have to, you do got to realize that it's really not looking good for us so far with pitching. But That's just one thing that, in my opinion, I think that it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to move on with the season, above 500 if we're not going to be able to pick up the pitching. Because, the past couple series, the Rockies, their offense was unbelievable, right? Guys like Nolan Arenado, Brendan Rodgers, Trevor Story, those three guys, they really stepped up for us. And we were, let's say our offense wasn't playing so well, I'd say we would have went 2-8 on that homestand. Bunch of walk-off wins, bunch of late inning surges. It was more of just, our offense coming together and, picking up for our defensive mistakes. So I think one thing going into the All-Star break, if we can get, if we can improve our defense and we can get more punch-outs and not, elongate innings and, definitely cut down on these long at-bats and, all those factors that go into, the struggles of, our pitchers so far this season. I think that, going throughout the season, I think that we can definitely improve if our pitching improves. But yeah, so also I wanted to touch up on, this season has been, especially for, our top guys in AAA, it's been a very eventful season for them, whether it be Jonathan Daza, Josh Fuentes, Brendan Rodgers, Jesus Tinoco, and, even today, Peter Lambert, at the time this is recorded. Some of our young guys really going to the season, it was, as a test, I thought that, whether we do well this season would be up to the young guys and see how they perform. And so far, it's really been that way. For example, Brendan Rodgers, who just got called up around 2 weeks ago, he started off, tough. He started off 0-7, really built himself back up, and, definitely, especially during the Orioles series, especially against the D-back series, he's really put together some nice at-bats. And I think especially with guys like Jonathan Daza and Brendan Rodgers, Josh Fuentes, I think with these guys who are coming up to cores, and I think they just need time to adjust because you got to think about it this way: when there's going to be players who are coming up to cores, and cores is one of it's a hard ballpark to adapt, despite the offensive advantages that batters have. I think that guys like those, and especially the pitchers obviously coming to cores, that's even harder. So I think that players adjusting to the conditions and all that stuff is definitely been huge for us, especially when especially when guys like especially today, like Peter Lambert comes out today, pitches an unbelievable outing and gets us the win and helps us avoid the sweep today. I think that our young guys picking up for our veterans has been the common theme for the last couple seasons as well, for sure, because it's more of it seemed as though Nolan Arenado and Trevor Story, even mostly Nolan as of late, actually, until mid last season, he's really been the guy who's held us together. He's been the glue. So, I think, just as well as the other things, I think that is a big part to, our success. So now moving on, I wanted to just talk about the injuries because, our team has been ravaged by injuries this year, whether it be Daniel Murphy in the beginning, Wade Davis now, Charlie Blackmon now, Trevor got dinged up, there's Ryan McMahon. There's been a bunch of injuries right now. So just to focus on, the Rockies injuries right now. So as of right now, Charlie Blackmon is definitely the guy who, we got to worry about because he dinged himself up, didn't seem that bad at the time, but, looking back on it now, he really is struggling and with his injury, as it seems. Obviously, he just got put on rehab, so he's going to the injured list. He's got a tough calf strain. I honestly at this point, I think that we're striving right now, and the fact that we can pull ourselves together, and the fact that we can actually put wins together, actually get series wins, even series sweeps as of late, and consecutive series sweeps. I think that the fact that we can do that with some of our guys on the IL is more than impressive. So something like that is just it's tough to see, especially Charlie Blackmon who seemed as though he really wasn't last season. He didn't do he was kind of on par with I'd say the average. I mean, it's kind of hard to explain, but the above average outfielder in the league. But for sure, I think that this season he's definitely on track to have a way better year. So it is a shame that he got injured, but he'll be back. It just doesn't seem like a huge injury at all. He'll go in rehab, but besides that, we are missing a right fielder, but we do have guys. Thank God we do have guys though, like Raimel Tapia, David Dahl, Ian Desmond. Whether or not they're solid offensively, do we have a really good defensive outfield for sure. So I am glad that we do have those pieces to fill in, because if we didn't, if we did not have a good I'd say in the NL, I'd say we have one of the best outfield wise depth charts, out of any of the teams, because we've dealt with a lot of injuries over the past years, but especially now, I think that for sure that the fact that we can pull out wins, I think that with the guys we have, as backups, I think that's awesome, because especially guys like Garrett Hampson. He's never played outfield in a Rockies uniform yet, and he just played center field the other day and did a great job as well. So I think that the fact that we have athletic guys who can really switch it up and can really adjust to some of the injuries we're getting, I think that's crucial to the wins we've been having lately, especially. So but yeah, so I do think that this team's really pulled it together for sure. I really do think that our future is definitely bright. But leading up to the All-Star break, I think that it's more of just something that it's going to be crucial for our pitching to improve and our offense to improve as well. So that's definitely something that we got to focus on. So maybe, as we go into the rest of the year, it seemed, another common theme that we had, it seemed as though some of our struggles were, that, towards the late, months of the season, like I said before, whether it be injuries or just, slumps that ravaged us, it does seem as though we do seem to lack an ability to pull it together, like we do in the beginning of the season. So if we can play like we do right now, I think the future is definitely bright for this team, and I do see us going to another postseason, making another postseason appearance for sure, completely. So, but as we do look in the future, and we do look towards the All-Star break, just going to go over the schedule we have soon. So, next series, we're playing the Mets. And the Mets right now are, they're not, I wouldn't say they're struggling, but I definitely would not say that they're thriving, especially as much as us. So I do think that, there's definitely a bunch of series to take advantage. We're facing the Cubs again on a homestand Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Continuing that homestand Thursday, Friday, Saturday against division rival and the Padres. Then we're going to Arizona, the series after. So, besides this Mets series, we got a bunch of series coming up that they're going to be tough, but I do think that we can pull it out for sure. I really do. So that's what we got going for that. For the next 3 series, we are facing the Dodgers. Dodgers, Giants. We really haven't faced them in quite a while. So, these are going to be the divisional matchups that we're going to have to really take advantage if we're going to have to. If we're going to even be close in contending for the West. So if we can win these series matchups, we can really, let's say we go where it's a 3-game, it's a 4-game series against the Dodgers at home. If we can go 3-1, at the rate we're playing right now, I really think we can narrow it down, for sure. So, but yeah, so that's what we got to the All-Star break. It's looking good so far. We definitely, I could say right now I'm definitely comfortable where we're at. We just lost the series, in Chicago today, but, when it comes down to it, we just won a series against the Jays, just swept the Diamondbacks in a 4-game series, just won a series against the Orioles, won a series against the Pirates. So, things are looking good right now. Despite whether we lose here and there, I think that, things are looking really good. So hopefully we can, continue what we're doing right now, because, for sure what we're doing right now is it's looking really good. So, that's the goal. But, if we can take a look at, the other teams, if we even look at the standings right now, obviously the Dodgers have a, firm lead in the standings, but, the Rockies, the Padres, the Diamondbacks, and Giants, these teams don't give up. I mean, you look at the NL West. I mean,